Hello and welcome to Toy Trash. In this episode I'm going to talk about this little beauty, the Mercedes C111 from the early 70s Matchbox Super King range. I've been fascinated by it since being a kid. I mean, this one I've had for as long as I can remember. I think it's my oldest surviving toy. It's had a hard life. My dad at some point tried to cheer it up with this green paint job you see here. Matchbox wasn't alone in making a casting of the C111. It became a popular model for loads of toy manufacturers in the 70s. For what is such an obscure car now, can you think of a more reproduced car in period? Now, hardly surprising given the way that it looked. I mean, you could do 180 miles an hour. It was packed full of innovation, not least the use of a Wankel engine. Now, this is a cute feature on the base of this German Schuko toy. I've got a couple of Schuko toys and they all seem to have got the car stats on the base. Kind of like a cool top trumps kind of vibe. And obviously very useful if you need to know stuff about that particular car.
So here's a quick bit of scene setting from the big three: Dinky, Corgi and Matchbox. Arguably the biggest diecast toy range at the time, besides Hot Wheel of course.
Now, I wouldn't be talking about these toys if it wasn't for the influence of Hot Wheels. They disrupted the toy car market in the late 60s. You know, speed was the new fun with their low friction axles, glorious Spectraflame paint jobs. In order to compete, Matchbox had to adopt these US show car fantasy hot rod culture themes. And honestly, I think better for it. Thank you, Hot Wheels. I know this paint is not original, but let's feast our eyes on it. So let's have a look at the big three. So 1970, straight out of Swansea, Corgi's got a new catalogue, and C111 on the front cover. A couple of pages inside, they've still only got an artist rendering of the new toy, and it says available later. And as if by magic, it's a good colour orange. This particular version let down a little bit by the painters and decorators effect of the paint. Yeah, really strong attempt. You can see that it's the 1970s version with the flying buttress kind of B-pillars and the single round tail lights. Corgi have concentrated in the casting on recreating the gull wing doors, which is obviously a defining feature for the C111. Yeah, overall good proportion car. For a quick comparison, here's the Corgi Junior Husky version, Corgi Junior version. Obviously Corgi covering all bases on levels of pocket money at the time, and rare in the fact that they represent this car in two of their ranges. This is quite a cute car, representing the 1969 version with the horizontal grille and the filled-in B-pillar area. Done a rather splendid job of giving it a silver chrome interior with blue glass, which is always a winner in my book, and an open rear deck lid with a little engine. So a great little casting there. Yeah, well done to Corgi. So next up, it's 1971, and Dinky comes to the party with a very nice version of the 1969 car. Now, Dinky was the daddy of quality and detail at the time. And this toy even has stickers, even if they've been applied in a sort of a shunky kind of way. It's got a nice metallic paint job, albeit red, not orange, although there is a very nice white version of this, which looks like one of the original test cars. Good looking car. Dinky have gone all out with the casting to render the gull wing doors that actually stay up, and an open rear deck lid with a nice gold engine detail, and suspension and unique wheels with rubber tyres. And Dinky often had unique wheels for its range of cars, but these only unfortunately make this toy look a little bit more awkward and, dare I say it, boring. They could have saved themselves some money and used the wheels off the Lamborghini Marzel, which being 5-spoke look more like the real ones anyway.
But by 1972, Matchbox joins the fray, and this time with an actual photograph of the product.
You'll notice that there's an engine shown in these product shots. This is odd because the Gold version, being the first version, was originally designed without engine decoration but a space where a battery would sit and power the tiny light bulbs in the pop-up headlights. Yeah, Matchbox thought every man and his dog is going to do gull-wing doors. So let's do something insanely complicated, more expensive to R&D and more time-consuming to assemble. Cooler than cool if it worked, but it didn't. So the story I've heard is that they all get recalled, or the first production run gets shipped to Germany and Holland, which seems odd. Were Dutch and German parents more tolerant of toys not working?
Now, if you know anything about this story, please throw your hat in the ring in the comments. I'd love to know.
So Lesney got the models they have left, put shiny stickers on the pop-up lights and a black plastic blank where the battery cavity was. Eventually they retool the casting and add a dress-up engine piece.
Change the colour to green with a gold base. Early ones had legacy lilac glass piece, creating the definitive version of this toy. Now the boxes, in my opinion, are even cooler than the toys. Check out this artwork.
They changed the artwork on the box too, removing the light up info picture, but the hero image still got the lights on. Look at this. This picture just makes this toy even cooler. It gives it the attitude and the personality that the other toys don't have. There's a story here, there's the escapism. This is the glam rock superstar from Lee Conservancy Road, Hackney, London. This has the personality.
So let's crack this car open and treat it to some modern technology and give it the working headlights it always deserved. As you can see, the base is secured, not with the usual rivets, but with screws. It's like Leslie knew that at some point a poor grown-up or curious kid was going to need to get in there and sort things out. Thanks a lot, let's crack on. So it's pretty straightforward to disassemble. Lovely purple glass and white interior. Yeah, the electrical components. This little lever operates a rocker that lifts the pop-up headlights bar, which is a complete unit. That then presses down on the metal strip to create a closed circuit, and then the lights come on. Oh, it's blooming fiddly though, particularly with sausage fingers. Here you can see the cam. Everything's so flippin' small. So these tiny light bulbs are just held in place with this purple plastic piece. How many bits we got here?
This must have been a challenging toy to assemble, particularly when you're working to a quota. This is obviously not a picture of the C111 assembly line. Look, too many slimy? Way too many smiley faces. Come on, let's go on with this.
Old original bulbs versus new LED ones. So I bought these LED lights calibrated for 12 volt, as that's the size of battery that I found that would fit in the back of the car. Again, anyone watching this with the original OG battery and lights, I'd love to know about it, so stick it in the comments. First things I needed to do was attach new connectors. These new ones are a bit bigger, but I think they'll do. Make sure you've always got the correct tools for the job. Saves time and skin. I've assembled this off screen. It's not pretty. I've whacked a blob of hot glue on everything just to keep it in place because it's getting pretty busy in there. So, glass in first, followed by interior. This is when stuff starts to test you. Put the tail lug in the slot, hoping it's all line up and the lights don't decide to fall out. Nicely shut like a clam. Get the screws back home. Battery's all snug as a bug. Let's see if it's gonna work.
Toy Trash.
Thanks for watching Toy Trash, and see you on the next episode.